Hey guys, this is Daniel from Valor Comic Services, and welcome to the channel. They did it again. CGC announced yesterday that they were going to be updating their tiers as well as their pricing. There's been a lot of feedback towards it because, of course, no one likes having to pay more for something. So we're going to look into that real quick and give a breakdown, pros and cons of it, and what it's all going to mean. I'll go ahead and throw up the release right here. So CGC announces price and policy changes. The changes to CGC services and fees are effective starting May 2nd, so just a few weeks from now, these changes are going to be going into effect. On May 2nd, 2023, CGC will change some of its services and fees for comic books, magazines, and concert posters, including the CGC Signature Series, and a full list of changes will be from below. The new fees apply to online submission forms completed on May 2nd or later. Online submission forms before May 2nd must arrive at the headquarters by June 1st, seen right here, to qualify for old pricing. So say if you have a batch of books that you're waiting to go ahead and send, you can still go ahead and get that invoice ready, even if your finances are in order, and that'll buy you a little bit of time. That way you can still send it in and secure that old pricing, but we'll get into that new pricing here in just a moment. The new signature series will apply to submissions delivered on May 2nd, 2023 or later. There are no changes to services for CGC trading cards, video games, or lobby cards. So that's good news. CCS is now CGC Pressing. That just makes sense. CCS is just kind of what they've been calling their pressing service. It's been a different company. Making that transition into CGC Pressing, it just simplifies things. So totally get that. Here for update to tier services and fees. And these are what is going to be reflected on May 2nd. The modern tier fee is going to be changed to $25. As of right now, it's currently $24, so it's just going up $1. So not the end of the world there. The economy tier is now going to be called Vintage and is going to be changed to $37. Previously, it was $35, so that just went up $2. The standard tier is now going to be called High Value and a fee changed to $85. I believe that was $80. So that one's going up to $5. Express tier will no longer be functioning. That's going to be discontinued. So to submit collectibles valued over $1,000 is going to be under the limited value tier. So they're getting rid of the walkthrough tier as well, and now that's going to be called the limited value. The fee changed to 4% of fair market value at $150 minimum. So before you had a lot of grace. Especially during the comic boom, prices for comics were just all over the place and applied for raw books. Like you couldn't send an Amazing Spider-Man 300 economy or modern. You had to submit it standard. So that was like an $80 fee right from the gate to get that book graded. Versus now, you don't really have to do that. You can submit it under modern or economy, depending on how you want to batch your submissions together. And you'll get some grace that way. Like, say with Punisher, if you had an Amazing Spider-Man 129 and it wasn't the highest grade, it was mid, you could get away with sending it to that express tier, which was 125. That's no longer going to be the case. So now if your book is valued over $1,000, you have to send it in through this walkthrough tier. There's goods and bad. I mean, to me, you're going to be paying more for that. It does suck. It's not convenient. It's not convenient at all because you're having to pay more money. And it just depends on how many books you want to send per batch. So that's going to have some negative pushback on it. I don't agree with it, but with inflation, look at the cost of eggs. Eggs are through the roof, went stupid. So it's no shock that they're making these changes as well. Reholder, no changes. Reholder High Value, the name changed it to Reholder Unlimited Value, no fee changes. The grade pre-screen. So before the fee change, it was $8. Now it's $9 per reject. The minimum submission requirement has been removed. Now, to me, that's the game-changing element of all of it. Because before, to send a pre-screen, you had to send a minimum of 25 books. Now you don't have to do that. So for me personally, like say if I was about to send a bunch of books that I was going to press to try to bump the grade, well, I don't want to just send those one or two on a whim. I would wait until I got 25 books together to send the pre-screen. Now I don't have to do that. So now if I have 5 or 6 books that I'm confident is going to get that 9.8 grade, now I can send it through this, select the pre-screen criteria to 9.8 only, and try to do that way. And it's going to cut down my cost significantly. So it's all about what you're trying to do and how you view things. Say you just have 2 or 3 books and you only want those books in the 9.8, now you can do that. And there's a lot of books where if it doesn't hit that grade threshold, it's not really worth grading. It has more value raw. So that creates a better way to curate your collection with how you want to do it, especially in desired grade ranges. Because say if you have an older book and you're really banking on that book hitting a 7.0, now you can set that pre-screen at a 7.0 and you can secure your bet that way. Versus say if you get a 5.5, odds are it's going to have more value as a raw book than grading. So to me, that's great news. Like them removing that, genius. Changing things to the unlimited tier that we got to call it now, that sucks. Like I've got a Marvel Spotlight 5, and speaking of Amazing Spider-Man 129, I'm going to send those books in, but now I have to pay more to get those done. Not a fan, but I am a fan of how we're going to be doing pre-screens, and to me, that's actually going to save quite a lot of money. So if you can maximize your submissions doing that way, definitely go for it. If you think a book needs press, hit me up. I'd love to help or answer any questions you have about any of this. Magazines suck to get graded. The turnaround time for magazines, it's like half a year, if not longer. On average, it's 7 to 10 months. It sucks. It's not fun. So the modern tier for magazine is $25. I think that just went up just a few bucks. Most of these are going to be the same way. Economy tier, change to vintage, change 37. Standard tier, high value, no fee changes. The walkthrough tier, now the name is changed to unlimited. And it's the same thing like comics. The fee has changed to 4% of fair market or a minimum of $150. Reholders, no big. You can pre-screen your magazine, so the same rule applies there. And then posters, I know people have gotten their posters graded. I know I personally have not sent any posters to get graded, especially concert posters. So not quite sure what group of hobbyists that this is going to apply to, but I'm sure it does. So changes to the CGC Signature Series comic book trading. This doesn't really apply to the mail-in service because whenever they charge you that total fee, which on average is $120 to $135, this is already calculated in. So the minimum fees are going to go up because they have to reflect this. But this is more so, say, if you go to a comic convention and you have your books raw, getting signed by the artist or whoever you want them signed by, this is where this is going to be into effect more so. So now to have a modern book encapsulated for the Signature Series, the fee is going to be $45. I can't really tell you offhand what it was before because I never encountered this. Most cons that I go to, I'm not necessarily there to get CGC witness slabs anymore. I'll just wait and send that in or wait for a facilitated signing just to value my time because on average, you'd be standing in line 2 or 3 hours. There's a whole lot of handling issues. I'd rather just send it to somebody else and let me know when it comes back. The economy tier changed to vintage. Now the price on that's going to be $57. So say you have Silver Age books that you want to get signed by artists, the price on that's going to go up. Standard tier is now changed to $105. Express tier discontinued. And now if it's over 1,000, it's got to go to the new unlimited value, which 4% or $170 minimum. And everything goes down. Signature series for magazines. Same thing applies there. This is not for send-in. This is just going to be for if you're at a convention getting a magazine signed. This is where you're going to see those prices reflect the most. Changes to concert. I've never seen a Signature Series concert poster. So if you have one, definitely hit me up and send me a picture of it just because I want to see what it looks like in a slab. Prints, photos, sketches. Prints, photos, and sketches fee have now changed to $30. Still haven't seen too many of those. I haven't seen them graded, but at most point, you might as well send it to Beckett just to get it authenticated, not worry about a grade. So when it comes to their pressing service, which is now CGC pressing, no real prices. So everything's going to be the same. They haven't changed the price to pressing. I was wondering if they were going to change it to the fast track. So originally fast tracking was just $15, But so far, I'm not seeing any change when it comes to the fast track. So that's good. To restoration removal, modern, no changes, economy, name change, no fees, standard, name change, no fees, express, same thing, all the same thing. Applies to pressing for magazines. Fee changed to $15, which I don't know what they were charging for pressing magazine beforehand, but if it changed to $15, then beforehand that was pretty cheap. The vintage is now changed to 30, which that's going to be like your Savage Tales 1, your first appearance of Man Thing, a lot of the Conan magazines, the Vampire Tales, a lot of those, the horror magazines. Standard tier or high value is now $70. That's a lot. Magazine restoration removal has now changed to 20. Again, not sure what it was before. Vintage 35, high value 75, and then the $150 minimum. Anything notable on the Q&A? Some fees are going up, others are going down, and others are staying the same. For example, comic book grading fees are going up, comic book pressing fees are staying the same, and magazine fees are mostly going down. Many of these changes greatly simplify CGC service offerings by eliminating underutilized tiers or unnecessary price differences, enabling CGC to further improve its submission process, workflows, and turnaround times. If it does, it does. That's all I got on that. Without the Express tier, what tier should I select for a collectible valued from $1,000 to $3,000? Good question. For collectibles valued over $1,000, submit under the unlimited value tier. So say if you have a book that's around $1,500, it's got to go to the unlimited tier now. No fees are changed for the trading cards or video games. Good news, offering pressing. Yep, they would have to still offer pressing. Otherwise, I'm about to get a lot more busy, and I'm okay with that. And we'll get back over here. So yeah, they went up a few bucks here and there on their tiers. They removed other submission tiers. Generally, that kind of makes it easier because instead of having 4 or 5 different tiers to explain to someone whenever you're getting ready for your submission, now you just have 4. You've got your modern, economy, that's standard, and now the unlimited. So it makes it a little bit easier, and it just comes down to the value of the book. But the big thing to me is now you don't have the minimum for the pre-screen. So that's huge. That's great. I'm excited for that. I know the price changes really suck when it comes to those books valued over $1,000. However, prices are going up every day on things we can't control. So I hope this video helps you, is educational. If you have any questions at all about any of this, feel free to leave me a comment. Feel free to reach out to me on any social media platform. I'll have my email in the comment section below. And be safe, guys. Treat everyone fairly. I'll talk to you guys later.